Tuesday morning, Plus Sports and Plus TV Africa. Okay, it's a Tuesday, and of course we're all happy about it. My name is Wally Scott. Welcome on the show. I've got Mukail Tinumbu. Good morning, Mukail.
Good morning.
I've got Halim Omotayo with me on the show today.
Okay, good morning.
I'll tell you why I have Halim. Mukail, I'm talking to you now, not to Halim. I have always been unimpressed with our Olympians. But I've always been impressed with the Paralympians. They always come home with at least 3-4 gold, 3-4 silver, 3-4 bronze. They've always done very well for us, you know. And I used to have a friend. Her name is Stella. I escorted her personally. I pushed her in the wheelchair to the BRT stop in Barracks in Sulere. I don't know where you know where that is.
Yes.
And I pushed her to the airport. There was nobody waiting for them. There was no pomp and pageantry. There was no jamboree. They were all just arranged, and they went to the Olympics. She came back home with the gold. I love Stella. It's really very... I look at the way she left. I look at the way they got back. And she came back with gold. Now, Halim was telling me a few minutes ago, that's why he's on the show, about how his friends would not let him play with them, how his friends would say, I don't put us in trouble, I beg, don't play, you know. And I was like, but the Paralympians are doing so well, you know. And your friends were always saying, don't play with us, don't get involved, we don't want trouble. How did you feel?
Well, I felt kind of left out. Like, I felt like they were treating me differently just because of how my legs were. I felt like I wasn't normal since I wasn't able to participate in
because
sports
of the way they
them.
treated you.
Yes, kind of made me feel bad about myself.
You have a question on? Okay.
I'm not really a question, more of an observation. Did you ever... I could imagine from that point of view, because, you know, I'm able-bodied and unfortunately I've been around situations like that in secondary school. So aside from the, I don't want trouble, I don't want you to get injured, there's also the consideration that, you know, kids, when they set out to play, they want to win.
Yes.
And the expectation that he might not be able to afford them the opportunity to
win.
Yes. So, but at the same time, I suppose I could ask, are you able to, or have you ever been able to play with your friends competitive sports in school?
Not competitively, right? The only time I can actually recall ever doing any form of sports with my classmates, my friends, was during PE, when I was forced to participate and they didn't exactly have a say in whether I could join them or not.
Did any of the rejections ever make you question whether you should play sports at all?
A lot. It made me question this.
But now you know the Tokyo Paralympics starts today.
Yes.
And they're going to win. Nigeria will win.
I hope so.
I can assure you. We'll win, don't worry. Now the Tokyo 2020 Paralympic Games begins on Tuesday, that's today, with 22 athletes representing Nigeria in 4 events at the Games. Nigeria will feature in powerlifting, para-athletics, para-table tennis, and para-rowing, with the athletes hoping to surpass the country's last ever achievements at the Rio 2016 Games. Now, Team Nigeria won 17th number on the medals table with 8 gold. Oh, they won 8 gold, actually. Wow. 8 gold, 2 silver, and 2 bronze medals. The country, well, made its to the Paralympics debut in Barcelona in 1992 with 6 athletes. Well, let me just leave the story. It's sad to note that we won 8 gold in Rio, 2 silvers, 2 bronze medals. The able-bodied guys have never won that. Up to that, they never. How can they do that now? It's good. How?
I still wonder one thing though. With the limited resources that is available in sports, for even the able-bodied and the disabled and handicapped, I wonder how they get there on their own merit by themselves. Because, sure,
you need to go to the National Stadium or Teslim Balogun Stadium to see how these guys train. Because after the training, they eat rice, beans, and yam.
Because in the West and in Asia and other countries, expect to participate in the Paralympics. Special schools, children with disabilities and the possibility of one day becoming Paralympians, go to special secondary schools, schools where the facilities are already established to help them get the best out of their abilities, as limited as it might be, aside from what government might offer in the long term when they're older and competing. So I just wonder how we have so many Paralympians who do so well every time we go for this tournament.
Sad. The former president of El Salvador's Soccer Federation has pleaded guilty. That was yesterday. For racketeering conspiracy charge rising from a global soccer corruption probe involving the payments of the bribes he took for broadcast matches. Now, Mukayo, this happens every day in Nigeria. Every day. We hear stories about, look at the AFN, for example, Ibrahim Gusso, who eventually took $150,000 and they were supposed to send him. We don't know where that money is till today. The sports minister is paying the money back till today.
Yes.
We know about another $100,000 or something missing from a safe in the NFF glass house in Abuja. Everybody does this in Nigeria. It's a norm in Nigeria. But this guy has said he's guilty and is going to go to jail.
Yes. I mean, what's crazy to me is that in terms of development, we're no better or worse off than most South American countries. And yet when a corrupt politician, is caught out for something like this in sports, even they go to prison. I ask many a times, where is the accountability for many of our heads of institutions, heads of departments in our sporting institutions? When do they get accountable? When are they held accountable for the things they do? For the broadcast money?
Are they ever held accountable, really?
No, I don't believe so. I mean, they get slaps on the wrist and at best, probation at the worst. So I really don't think there's ever a time that we can point to. I certainly can't point to any official going to prison because of mishandling of FA funds.
And that happens all the time.
And that happens all the time.
Nice and Olympique de Marseille have been summoned to a disciplinary hearing tomorrow after their weekend Le Championnat match. It was abandoned, actually. But I want to talk to you about that, since you know a lot about it. What went wrong?
So, a fan threw a bottle at Marseille player Dimitri Payet. Payet threw the bottle back, only for the Nice fans to continue throwing more things at him. He threw all the stuff that was thrown at him back to the fans, and most of the fans on that end lost it and ran onto the pitch to attack him. Marseille defender Alvaro tried to protect him, but was assaulted and left the pitch with a scar on his face. He was scratched, he was attacked just for protecting his teammates. The game was eventually called off because, when fans run onto the pitch and you can't exactly get them back and the damage has already been done, there was no point of the match continuing. The Marseille players were definitely not going to be safe if the match continued, so they had to just abandon it.
Now, this is Nice. This is Olympique de Marseille. These are big clubs in the French Le Championnat. Should this be happening? These guys should be professionals.
I agree.
It shouldn't happen anywhere.
It shouldn't happen anywhere.
But it means that I expect that there's going to be some points deduction at this point because of how severe this incident was. I don't think there's going to be a replay, and I don't think it's going to.
Who will points be given to now?
I think Marseille, right?
Marseille.
Yeah, because the Nice fans.
You think Marseille?
Yeah.
I think Marseille, because
the Nice fans instigated it, right?
Yes.
And they rushed the field of play. And they assaulted. I heard 3 players were really injured in the whole tussle.
Including our
So at most, the players were defending themselves.
Yes.
And Nice could not keep the fans in check. You're supposed to provide security.
True that.
And they couldn't do that. The security could not secure the grounds and prevent this from happening. And we've heard in the past of situations like these leading to even fan deaths because of stampedes.
True that.
So what kind of example does this set if all they get is a fine?
Slap on the wrist.
Yes, a slap on the wrist. They need points deduction, a fine, and serious investigations, possibly even fans being barred from the stadium for a few months.
One of my favorite boxers ever, his name is Manny Pacquiao, has hinted at retirement after Cuban Hugo pulled off a stunning victory over the 42-year-old Filipino. Let's hear him, and then we'll talk about him. I thought he would have retired a long time ago, really, if you ask me.
I did my best tonight.
Welcome back. And you ask yourself a question. Let me ask you, Halim, what is Manny Pacquiao still doing in boxing?
I do not know. The man is 42. I really shouldn't be expecting a 42-year-old man walking into the ring prepared to fight someone. He's already old. There are people that are much younger than him. There will be people stronger, and those people will be able to defeat him due to him becoming sluggish and weaker over time. I don't see why he's still boxing. I admire his dedication. What did I say?
I think the only thing worth admiring about this whole situation was that Manny Pacquiao had bills to pay. And the fact is, in individual sports like these, the last fight he had was in 2019. He went out as a champion, and next thing you know, 2 years have flown by, and his title has been passed on to someone else. Then the question becomes, am I still good enough to still get in the ring and fight someone and win? And in individual sports, most of these athletes only walk away when someone beats them so badly that it makes it clear that time has caught up to them.
Today is the 24th. The league season, the window closes on the 31st. Let me start with you. I'll come to Alim later. Which players do you think which teams need to buy to make them win? People are talking about, hey, Jadon Sancho, they've got Varane, they've got Romelu Lukaku. Harry Kane might go, and he could still go because he's still 31st.
Man City have gone as high as £140 million, but Tottenham are holding out for 150, and I think Tottenham are hoping that will be the breaking point that Man City won't come back to the table for. But I think they do need a striker, a striker of the quality, of the pedigree.
What's your team? Okay, cool.
They can't wait an extra year to pick up a striker like Haaland, who will be on the cheap.
I don't think Haaland is going to come to Chelsea, to Man City.
But
Chelsea, maybe.
Well, his father has links to Man City, and Pep Guardiola is a very irresistible factor when it comes to things. Then Chelsea are still they've agreed a £26 million deal to offload Kurt Zouma to West Ham, and in hopes that they'll be able to free up space to bring in Jules Koundé from Sevilla. Man United aren't seeming like they're making any more moves, although Saul is...
Saul Niguez.
Yeah, his name is circulating, and Chelsea are supposedly looking to loan him for the season. But Man United have been chasing him, have been interested in the past for him, so we might see something develop in that space.
So let me come to you. What teams do you think need who?
Okay, so
Man, you have got Jadon Sancho, like we said earlier. They've got Varane. Lukaku has come and he has scored in his place.
Okay, so
Arsenal are breaking all the. Okay. Debola is listening to me right now. So Arsenal have broken all the records. This is the first time in 100 years that they have lost their first 2 matches. This is the first time in 100 years they've not scored in their first 2 matches. This is the first time in how many years that Lukaku has scored against them in Chelsea Team 1. Breaking all the records.
So
the wrong records.
Alim, what?
So I wanted to say this, right? So I was looking at Manchester United against Southampton, and I have to say something.
Your brother said something.
Yes.
And it's annoying.
Yes. So I was watching it with my brother, and then the moment Che Adams scored, right, but it was counted as a Fred on goal. I heard him mutter under his breath, they need to deport Fred back to Brazil. Let me be honest, right? I have no idea why Fred is still a Manchester United player.
Yeah.
He's one of those players that Jose Mourinho brought. He was sacked later on that year. I don't see why he's still here. He hasn't exactly contributed much.
Let's look at Chelsea now. Who do they need? Is Lukaku all they want? All they need? They're a complete C for me, if you ask me.
Lukaku is a good player.
He's a plus for them.
He's a very good addition to the squad. I'm not sure Chelsea might need much more players left. Maybe they need to upgrade defensively. But we have 6 months to determine that until the January transfer window opens. There, Chelsea can make necessary adjustments if possible.
Who would you give the league to?
Who would I give the league to?
Yeah.
So far, I'm a United fan, so I might be a little bit biased.
Don't be biased.
So, initially, after like the first game of the season, we beat Leeds 5-1, and I was thinking, oh, what's up for the league now? Maybe we can hold this up for a few months before we start messing up. So far, I think Chelsea and Tottenham have been doing well. Tottenham, a club that haven't won a single trophy for 13 years. I feel like Nuno is going to take this squad to great heights. They are in a very easy European competition this year, UEFA Europa Conference League. That is a new competition, and Tottenham already like a big club who have made to Champions League final before. So a competition like that, where the competition isn't as fierce as Champions League, isn't as fierce as Europa League, I expect Nuno to take Tottenham a very long way there.
He's right.
Nuno Espirito Santo.
Although I don't know if we can say that the competition is going to be easy just yet, because this is its maiden voyage. But rightly said that it's going to have less competition than Europa League or Champions League. I think Tottenham are in a good position that this season or next they could win the FA Cup. Not the Premier League, because there's just no room for anybody else to win that.
But do you agree with him that if you are going to give it to anyone in the Premier League, he was being biased when he said Manchester United, but he says Chelsea.
Well,
Manchester is a fantastic squad.
Chelsea's squad
and
is
he's Chelsea fan for the record.
Chelsea's squad is comparable in size to Manchester City.
Yeah,
it's frightening in all positions. And even if you took out Lukaku, this is a team that won Champions League without him. So, and now that they've offloaded 2 strikers and brought on 1 strong focal number 9, even if you think about him and Werner alternating, those are 2 very different types of strikers, and it gives the manager options depending on the opponent he's playing against. And everywhere else on the pitch, the midfield is overpopulated. In fact, they're still trying to get rid of Pacquiao. Yes, Barkley, Loftus-Cheek. These players are still hanging around, and Gilmore is on loan. And Jorin is part of the first team squad.
I think it was scary for me when I saw on Facebook a friend of mine who's a massive Chelsea fan. He put it there: 22 players, all 11 players on each side can take on anyone.
Yes,
and that's scary. And then they add Lukaku.
That is very scary.
And that's scary.
Yes.
Really scary. I don't have that in Manu. I don't have that in Manu. I can't even dream of it.
Wait.
Plus Sport on PlusTvAfrica. Halim, the Paralympics start today.
Yes,
you are going to be back on the show very soon to talk about the successes of our athletes. They will see, I'm sure. See, no Olympian has come back, or Team Nigeria, able-bodied, has come back with 3 golds.
Yeah.
Talkless of 8. The last one we went to, it's gold, 2 silver, 2 bronze. Nobody has done that. And these guys will do much better than everybody else. Okay. Thank you very much, Bukayo Tinubu.
Thank you for
As
having
usual.
us.
Thank you very much, Halim Omotayo.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. My name is Wale Scott. Join Bukayo Tinubu, same time, same station on Plus TV Africa tomorrow. And like I always advise you, at the end of every show, if not for anything, at least for your heart, do some sports.